Hi friends, welcome to Indian Polity Current Affairs by Neo IAS. Every year, November 26th is observed as the National Constitution Day. This year also, even during the pandemic situation, our government gave attention to celebrate this day. We know our constitution came into existence on January 26th of 1950, and this day, January 26th, is observed as the Republic Day. So, why November 26th is selected as the National Constitution Day? What is so special about this day? In this video, let's find the reason and the history behind this. So, let's begin. Government of India started celebrating November 26th as Constitution Day from 2015. This day is also known as Samvidhan Divas. 2015 was the 125th birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who is also known as the father of Indian Constitution. Earlier, before 2015, this day was observed as the National Law Day for Dr. B.R. Ambedkar being the first Law Minister of India. Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi made the declaration that it is a day to express our gratitude to the makers of the Constitution. And the aim behind making this day so special is to promote the constitutional values among Indian citizens. Now let's look at the history behind this. The talks on framing a constitution for India was started in the beginning of the 20th century itself. The idea of a constituent assembly was put forward by M.N. Roy in 1934. M.N. Roy is a pioneer personality in the communist movement of India. After this, in the very next year, in 1935, Indian National Congress also demanded the same, which is a constituent assembly. And their demand was accepted by the British government in 1940, which is also known as the August Offer. Later, in 1942, Sir Stafford Cripps, who is a member of the parliament, he visited India with a draft proposal of the British government on framing an independent constitution for India. But his ideas were rejected by Muslim League, demanding a separate nation as well as a separate constituent assembly. And overall, Cripps' mission was a failure. And after this, in 1946, a cabinet mission was sent to India. They also rejected the idea of two separate constituent assemblies, but their schemes were somewhat acceptable for the Muslim League. According to the cabinet mission plan, the election was conducted to the Constituent Assembly in July-August of 1946. There were a total of 389 seats in the assembly, which got reduced to 299 after the independence and partition of India in 1947. Out of the 389 seats, 296 seats were from the British Indian states and the rest from the princely states. The representatives of the princely states were nominated by the head of that particular state. So we can say that the Constituent Assembly was a partly nominated and partly elected body. After the election, Indian National Congress won the majority of the seats and the rest by the Muslim League. The Constituent Assembly held its first meeting on December 9th of 1946. In that meeting, they selected Dr. Sachidananda Sinha as the temporary president, as he was the eldest member of the Constituent Assembly. Later, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the president. On December 13th of 1946, Jawaharlal Nehru moved the historical Objectives Resolution before the Constituent Assembly. It later became the preamble to the Indian Constitution. There were 8 major committees and several minor committees in the Constituent Assembly. The Constituent Assembly had 11 sessions, and the making of the Constitution was completed in 2 years, 11 months and 18 days time. And finally, the Constitution was adopted by the Constituent Assembly on November 26 of 1949, and it came into existence on January 26th of 1950. Now we got the answer for why we have selected November 26th as the Constitution Day. Because it was adopted by the Constituent Assembly on this day of 1949. We can see the same date in the preamble of the Constitution also. Now let's look at the 8 major committees of the Constituent Assembly. The Union Powers Committee, Union Constitution Committee and the States Committee were headed by Jawaharlal Nehru. The Provincial Constitution Committee and various advisory committees which were on fundamental rights, minorities, the tribals, etc. It was headed by Sardar Patel. The drafting committee was headed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. The Rule of Procedure Committee and the Steering Committee were under Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Out of these, the drafting committee, which was headed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, was the most important one because they prepared the draft of the Indian Constitution. They referred nearly 60 constitutions for preparing the draft of Indian Constitution. Apart from these major committees, there were several minor committees also, which were for some specific reasons. Finally, the Constituent Assembly adopted the Constitution on November 26 of 1949, and finally it came into existence on January 26 of 1950. When it came into existence, there were 395 articles and 8 schedules. In this video, we have seen the reason why November 26 was selected as the National Constitution Day. By celebrating this day, we are trying to promote the values and the ideas included in our Constitution. Also, it is a tribute to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who is the father of our Constitution. Thank you.